Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Lauracrapo. I'm gonna do a reading today about the next 5 years. Um, let's close this because it's kind of loud. You can hear my dog in the other room, but he's fine. All right. Also, like, I left the comments and stuff on, but because I wear glasses, I can't read what you're writing. I might see it after. So I'm just gonna do the reading. It feels like these sort of like kind of pillow shaped stuff of just information like people are trying to just place in the world, like you know how organizations might want to be perceived a certain way, so they'll just sort of create, like, sort of softly deliver it in this package, like this is what it is, but like we have the ability of seeing everything that else that's around that pillow and how the world works and stuff, so it's not, we don't have to just take it like spoon fed to us, right? You can just let that pillow kind of just sit there and be like, well, that's what they put there, but you know, it doesn't really change anything. So there's that. I feel like people who have access to the media, who may have some sort of, I don't want to say prominence, but like they're in the media a lot and they have direct access to many like channels of it and stuff. And they wanna make a lot of noise about, like, "I'm in charge, like, this," like, "This is the only, like, information source," kinda thing, like, "I'm the only sort of, like, candidate, quote, unquote," like, the person to just consider, uh, really making a lot of noise and, like, hoping through scare tactics that that will work to grab your attention, and but like I said before, if you think more in a kinda zen, like, just seeing everything hang in the universe as a piece of information, like, you have the choice to choose, like, how you piece things together and who you see as options, and yeah, so any kinda, you know, I wanna say, like, I don't wanna say, like, necessarily meditation, like, not everybody is inclined to, have that as a practice, but I think anybody can have, like, an idea pop in their head, like, often, like, when I'm driving or jogging, like, when I'm physically occupied with some other task, that's when I get, like, a lot of these, like, images or insights and stuff, so you don't have to be, like, making a clean room in your house with, like, whatever, you know, just, like, a feather on a plate or something, and, like, that's not, like, how you have to have that freedom to perceive, like, it could be literally, like, working data input, and then, like, you get, because it's, like, a simple task, like, you might get, uh, insights on what you think, and it's important to, value your intuition, and the more you value it and just sort of take it at face value without judgment, you just sort of collect your own kind of data like that, and then you can, over time, gain more confidence about, like, discerning those messages. You don't have to be, like, a master of it, like, instantly, but, like, take it seriously, and it's, like, another form of important communication and guidance in your life, and even if when you first start interacting with it, it might seem odd, just observe it and be curious rather than, fearful or judgmental, because, like, other information that people give us, either through the media or whatever, is, like, their point of view where they're, like, they see themselves as, like, the main character in our lives, but, like, you could say Earth, nature is the main character too, and, like, everybody is if they, accept that responsibility of being themselves in this world, with their own point of view. So, okay, I'm just gonna kind of going off about meditation, but so yeah, so there's this pillow of information, and then there's also these. It looks like kind of black streams of like, this is what's happening, and like, well, but actually like that person speaking in the media being diffused everywhere is really just like one human being, just like any of us. It's just they happen to have access to being broadcast, but like that doesn't make them any bigger or more important than anybody else, unless you give them that importance, unless you have some kind of relationship with the television or your phone that like overrides your own system, or like ability to judge, or like that can somehow take your power away or something. But like, just see it for what it is. It's like there's a regular human being who has made it their mission in life to like get on camera saying stuff and like promoting their agenda, and then it's up to you to go like that's nothing or that's something. So um okay, next 5 years. So yeah, so it just seems like the way things are set up right now are just going to be kind of looked at, and like over the next 4 years people are going to be seeing things with more discernment, and the people who are used to being kind of in charge with their system could never conceive of a time when like that wouldn't be the case. But like everything is always in flow and change. Like there's, constantly like people moving in and out of working for these systems and like retiring, and then new people coming in, and like younger people, and like things are changing even if they feel like it's a solid structure. It's always like different players in the same play, but after a while it's like, does this play really reflect like, what I mean? At some point it's like seems to not be in sync with like nature, and like how like the true organization of like the planet. So like how like all the industry and everything like that's like made up of stuff like found in the earth, right? So it's like crystals turned into like whatever, you know, computer chips or whatever. Like but let's say, for example, like we didn't do that and we left Earth alone, like the way it was made, like perfectly, and learned to like live on Earth with Earth's like cycles and everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like this crazy science fair project that's in the end is like gonna seem outdated, and the thing that's gonna seem the most technologically advanced probably is like Earth as it was, like, you know. Um, so it just sort of feels like in the next 5 years, people are just gonna be like, "What is what is this?" Anyway, it's like after a while, people broadcasting themselves and arguing with the other side, whatever, it's just gonna seem like The Tonight Show or something. Like, it's just kinda like, what are we even watching? Like, how does this really help our community? Like, let's get real here. So it feels like that kind of change is gonna happen gently in individual people's minds. It's not gonna be like forced on people. It's just like becoming kind of obvious. Like with, it's like right now, for example, today we have presented to us like in the States, like, oh, there's just two choices and they're both like super old and seemingly not, but that functional as leaders, or like they, like it's just kind of like what- when in fact, like, sure, there's these two parties, but there's like could be any number of independent people or other groups of people wanting to also help with the system that is presently set up. Um, you know what I mean? So it's like that those two options are kind of like have the most access to the media and stuff, and it's like it's on you to like really just relax and like see these choices like really for what they are and where they sit in the world, like logically and stuff, and like how there are other ways of like living, um it just feels gentle, like if like the change, if any change, well, obviously change is constantly happening, but if there's going to be um alterations to how things are run, it feels like the most gentle and like personal change happening with each individual instead of something that's like forced or like demanded. Because like, wait, I'm gonna look at the energy first before continuing. Even if like no matter who is, let's say for example, running the government or running anything, um they're still just like that, a human being, like just like anyone else, and just because their access to media right now like is more and more frequent than any other person, like it doesn't make them of like a higher rank in terms of like we all have an effect on each other, and like we're all given like equal presence, Okay. And also I see too, like if people just choose to like grow one food type of plant where they are, like where they live, or where they can plant it in their environment, like however it works, just making just growing that one source of food for yourself, uh, even if it's just like basil, you're growing basil and you're eating the basil from the plant, and they're like whatever it might be, just one small thing, and taking responsibility for like and it's free too, like after a while, like it's like if you grow something and then it seeds and then you can replant it, like it's I feel like that, like the small things are going to make the biggest difference, like honoring yourself more, not putting other people higher than you in terms of like decision making in the world, and starting to like grow your own food, even if it's just one plant, like tomatoes or something. That change like is becomes exponential if like everyone's doing it. And of course you're not limited to like one plant, but I just feel like that's like that'll be like a massive like wave of change. Okay. Yeah, so like obviously if you have access to screens and stuff, like the media might play a big role in like what you're picking up like during the day. But if you just see it as just like one little project by a group of people that is put out there, and then there's like lives happening like everywhere that maybe aren't filmed, and well, there's a lot being filmed with people's phones and stuff, but like you have the choice to not put so much emphasis on this one that just happens to be created and broadcast. Like you could just as easily have your own news show, like many people do. So it's just like the importance of the old-fashioned kind of network is kind of being seen as old-fashioned and within the next 5 years, and yeah, won't hold as much power. I mean, some people may choose to really bond with those characters and that the sort of dramatic delivery of that information. Like they like, just like some people might like watching Baywatch or CSI. They just like that brand. They like being in that bubble. Like they might choose to sort of stick with it, but like other people have see like all their other choices plus their intuition, plus like just like a vibe, like a communal vibe. Like there's so many different ways of like perceiving reality. So I just kind of see that the old-fashioned kind of structures being really looked at as like, is this even a thing? Like, is this isn't working? You know, in some cases, because it doesn't represent everybody. It doesn't protect everybody. Like so, like people are talking about it now. They have forever, and like it'll continue. And like as more and more people honor their own perspective and maybe broadcast it too, or just even if you're not watching anything and you're just tuning into your own intuition and validating it, even if you don't totally understand it. Like I just kind of see that after 4 years, like just a radical change in terms of that. Not radical in the word that like the way people like to use that word. Uh, it's it's just very, very different. Okay, so what else about the next 5 years? Yeah, and like I see education evolving to be like less regimented, more honoring, like just childhood, the experience of childhood, um, and that there might be more freedom to let's say a school had an art room, a gym, whatever, you know, different a science room and what puzzle room, whatever. Like kids are allowed to choose. I feel like where they want to hang out when they want to, you know, and it's more about like having a wonderful day and also having access to educational stuff, um, and just letting that evolve naturally, um, creating like supportive environments so that like people aren't because school the way it is now isn't for everybody. um yeah, so focus on honoring childhood and like teenagehood and stuff like that, where it's not about competition so much, unless people, unless that like I mean some people like athletes and stuff enjoy competition and some just like becoming better at a sport, or you know, it's like less competitive. Like I think I just see there's like space for everybody in that to choose to remove like the traumatic and competitive aspects from early education and stuff like that, or like making teenage life actually fun and um, rather than being like kind of in school prison from age 6 to 18. All right. Yeah, like because people will naturally want to become good at stuff, and like there's that documentary called 28 Up where they filmed kids just playing in the playground when they're little, and then like they keep following them every 7 years until they're adults, and they're still pretty much the same kid who's good at those things. So it's like, yeah, like kids will find their way, if they're given like access to what they need. Okay. Yeah. So I guess like just to wrap it up, it's like just because the media is presenting you with this sort of pillow kind of blob of information, so, doesn't mean that's the only story. And it's on each individual to empower themselves with their intuition to like guide them in this life. And over time, you'll see the positive results of that. Anyway, that's my reading. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, share, subscribe. And if you feel like sending a tip, $1 or anything, like PayPal, my email, lauracrapo@gmail.com. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.